It's early because we are packing for we're going to drive 9 hours to Wales soon. This will give you an idea of how much stuff we're packing. Coffee, we got junk food I'm even packing. There's rice, onions, salt and pepper. There's onions here. And I'm bringing a huge Le Creuset pot. This is going to be the dog's home for the next 7 hours. This is a ridiculous amount. It's like we're going camping for 2 weeks, but we're not. We're just going away for 3 days. We're in the Cotswolds. I forced John to take a slight detour on the way to Wales.
Slight?
It's slight. Yeah, we compromised. Instead of the 8 villages that I wanted to see, we're going to see 1 or 2. This is a really ancient, beautiful, cool village. Quite touristy though. Okay, this is where I've chosen to have lunch. Sign of the Angel. I love the Danish furniture in this restaurant, in this pub. It's it totally works with the, and they allow dogs. What more could we ask for? I'm here buying bread at Lake Cock at a local bakery. The price of being in the countryside sometimes, however, in these tiny villages is basically everything is really slow. It took more than 5 minutes to buy that bread.
This car in front.
This is Pembrokeshire. I don't know, the lighting is not making it easy to...
Take the second exit and stay on 8.
It's pretty stunning. We're going to be at our house in about half an hour. We have arrived and we're now, actually we're installing the dogs. This is our first priority. And we're really happy because not only is the house, I mean it's very nice, but it's John Bleach style. This is our very equally cool, chic bedroom. And this is another bedroom. It's perfect. This house, I could live here permanently, easily. This is the back of the house. Has a lovely little garden and overlooking this sheep pasture. Our friend has arrived, but I'm not allowed to Instagram any of our friends because honestly, they deplore, they despise, they loathe, they have contempt for, they just absolutely abhor social media. So, all you're going to see from time to time are their backsides. These are the kinds of people I'm with. They bought this book in advance and studied it as a reference guide.
Darling, please, I can't put this on there. Could you do it?
I'll do it.
We're so goddamn prepared. Wow.
And then put the gaiter on.
Okay, John's been screaming at me to help him with his gaiter.
I'm so, my body's not so stiff.
What, from leaning over?
There.
We're not taking a loop walk, therefore we're dropping off the car at the terminal point of a 10-mile walk on the Pembrokeshire coast. This is the first time John is using Google Maps. It's really a big deal for me.
This is not the first time.
Well, it's the first time John's used it in front of me.
Well,
and
when
I'm
I
telling you,
began to
it's a
use it
marriage
yesterday,
saver in a big way.
It gave me
Monkey puzzle? Is it a monkey puzzle? I love these trees. Love these. This is a stunning, we've been walking down this this paved road. And on one side, now we finally get a glimpse of the coastline, as well as this pasture. You see all the cows over there. Okay, now we're on the Pembrokeshire coast path. We got to pay attention. Not do anything stupid like break a bone here. This is a footpath now, and it's only wide enough for one person. But you get an idea of the environment of the coast. One of the gorgeous, remarkable things about the walk is also the colors, and that the banks of the walk are always filled with gorgeous foliage. We're here. This is, we're trying to get way beyond those two rocks. We picture really far away. We'll make it though.
Yeah, you can see that this little stream
Yeah, this is
drains
where we are.
down the cliff
Okay, and also this is where we have where we come, Michael. Show me.
there,
Okay, and then
up to here,
okay,
there, and then all the way down here,
okay.
around there, down here to here so far.
But we need to get to the other.
And we need,
Like, look how far we have to go. We're in trouble. We're waiting for our friends.
2.5 kilometers less to walk.
We were making the point that when people go walking, they have different goals. Sometimes people have an extremely strong sense of goal or orientation. Some people want to take in the view. It just is completely different. And so it's actually very important to have walking companions who have the same sense of achievement and goal orientation. Okay, now we're going to that rocky beach down there again. Oh, a lovely cow sighting on the way to the beach. We've descended to the beach and people are fishing. It's ridiculously picturesque. Patrick and Nettie are way behind. This is a very narrow path. It's so pretty with the flowers. Here. The flowers actually make such a giant difference in this walk. The big difference between this walk and many walks that we've done, even on the sides of cliffs, is that there are no people here at all. And I would take this any day over the Grand Canyon like scenery of, well, like the Grand Canyon or even of Ethiopia, of the Simien National Park. This is much more beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm showing you more mulch just because I can't help it. I'm really fascinated by it. It's a gross look, but it's I've never seen this. I bet they filmed some kind of movie here. I can't imagine them not. It's the kind of movie I really don't like The Hobbit or something. But it's worth it. Imagine waking up and having this at your doorstep. We made it all the way back to Abercastle. That's our car. We have concluded we cannot walk to the pub, and now the big challenge is actually packing 3 dogs and 5 adults into Patrick's car, which is customarily filled to the gills with just all manner of farming and agricultural crap.
Not sit on the floor in the front.
Come on, can get on the floor.
Okay, you get in, get human in, and then get the dogs on top of you.
Come on.
Dogs, come on, otherwise we're leaving you. There, see that? Then that makes sense. Oh! We're in the town of Porthgain, which for being in the middle of absolutely nowhere is quite developed. We're going to a place called The Shed. And Patrick and John are going to have a pint at the bar, or at the pub. We're in a really cute place called The Shed in Porthgain. But there are no dogs allowed inside, so we're going to have a hot cup of tea before we freeze our asses off at lunch outside.
You don't want to walk around
Michael and I
Fishguard.
want to walk more, and actually I was saying to Michael, I said, oh, let's Google what are considered the most beautiful segments of the Pembrokeshire National Park coastal path, and he said, no, you can actually look at the topography from the map markings and figure it out. Giant fish and chips, scampi, really fantastic food at The Shed. I'm in Porthgain, where we just had lunch. This is actually quite a developed little village because it was once the site of this giant stone and slate crushing operation. You see this plant? It wasn't not a plant, but this is the footprint. This is actually gigantic. I'm sure from a satellite view you would be able to see it very easily. So this was its main industry, and the town developed around it. And this, where we just ate, actually they used to make bricks. There's only me and Michael.
Now you could walk
John
up
is
to
going to take a nap. I forgot to mention something. This won't surprise you. It hardly bears mentioning, but there have been no non-white people since we crossed the border into Wales. Okay, we're at the top of a trailhead. Yet another ridiculously idyllic situation. So this is where guns. Well, this is a military structure, gun emplacement. Look at this beautiful house. There's a house sited right here out of the wind. This is where we are. This is quite an astonishing outcropping. You can walk up to the tip of that promontory, but we're skipping that. We have emerged over the top of the ridge, and now we're treated to a completely new set of scenes, which is quite rewarding. We're not really sure exactly where we are, but we're not particularly worried about it either. What we have concurred on is that this is the best walk that we've been on ever. Good thing in England there's very tight gun control, because we just have decided that the footpath here was erased by the farmer, in which case we're going to traverse his field anyway. So we're on private property. But in fact, this is supposed to be a public footpath. So I just said to Michael, I said, did you just hear somebody yelling at us? But I think that we're safe. If I was alone or I was with Sam, because I'm Asian, I actually would feel much more uncomfortable. It's just because I'm with Michael, the white guy, I feel like this is okay.
By the time
We're back.
they get smaller and smaller
We're back.
as you go up the route.
And not a minute too soon, because my feet could actually come off. This is White Sands Bay, and it has the most beautiful beach in Wales. It's a favorite of surfers. It's empty now. It's 9:45 in the morning. Beautiful beach. Back to the cathedral. Here's the trailhead. We're just going to play it by ear, and we're going to walk until we want to turn back, because we're going to go to St. David's for the day. This is where we just walked from. This is the view that we're overlooking. We're walking on the side of the cliff. We just came over the crest of this hill, and this is what the descent looks like. It's much more arid today, windless. It's much more sere, the environment. It's rugged and interesting in its own way. What is great about the whole walk is that all the paths are exposed. So this one is no hedge. That's because it's not a sheer drop, but this makes it much more fun and dramatic. One of the great joys of this walk is that it is not excessively groomed, so it's quite hard scrabble. Sometimes the pathways disappear, but it's actually much more fun and wild that way. One of the problems with American national parks, or indeed even recreation in general, that it's excessively groomed and controlled, and it's all safeguarded against potential tort lawsuits, and that's why it's much less fun to recreation in the US in the great outdoors. We turn back. Look at how it's glittering.
Yeah, it's only 6 to 1, half of it.
The sea. Beautiful. It's around noon now.
One of these.
This is what I'm talking about again, at the cliff edge. If I look down, it's pretty scary. Beautiful promontory. Very close to the parking lot. We'll be back there in 10 minutes.
Yes.
We're hanging out at the beach waiting for our friends. It's a hypnotic beach. We're in the town of St. David's. This is our friend who wanted to visit the cathedral here. We've just entered into the grounds of St. David's Cathedral. And it's extremely impressive and picturesque. It's quite an astonishing complex. Mass has just ended, and that's how we timed our trip. The ceiling is the high point of the cathedral. Stunning. It's wood. So the wooded ceiling is a pièce de résistance of this church. However, of course, it recalls the recent disaster at Notre Dame, that this roof is wood. That's where we came in. This is the sloping grounds. This is the main cathedral. And behind it, there was a ruin. Really, really gorgeous looking, jagged ruin. This cathedral is impressive for all the usual reasons, but what makes it really spectacular is its setting at the bottom of a slope. Here is the spectacular and unusual setting. Secreted below the road. This is the center of St. David's. This is a war memorial. It's actually really quite an adorable little town, but it is really the size of my pinky. We decided to check out this neighboring woolen mill. It's called, we can't pronounce that, Trigint Mill. This is a family business. They've done a good job. It's in a very, it's situated in a very little, in an idyllic back lane. It's Sunday, so there's nobody actually working on any of these looms, but there are 5 of them, and each of them makes a different pattern. This one in front of us, it looks like this is a carpet, actually. This is the water wheel here.
And the water comes along that trough. It's going down there now. If you lift that thing, it'll come along here.
Michael was making the point that ecologically using water to create electricity had 0 ecological impact, and that we're not saying that we need to go back to it, but there was a time when electricity could be generated like that. Chewing and having breakfast.
Right, good.
We're about to leave the house. We don't feel sad. I do feel a bit tired though, because there's no soundproofing between rooms here. Here's the problem: we're completely packed, but I just drank a quart of coffee, so we can't leave until I've had some kind of substantial pee. And I'm serious. It's a serious limiting factor. Before I go, I wanted to tape this whole compound again. Apparently it's the biggest single complex owned by an individual in Wales. It sleeps 22 if anybody wants to actually rent the whole set of houses. It's operated by a company called Under the Thatch, and it is really impeccable, beautifully furnished, beautifully maintained. I mean, we would stay here again in a heartbeat, and extremely affordable. There's the house we rented. That's the red object. This is a sheep meadow, pasture. And then down the drive, there are 2 more houses. There's a small cottage here which sleeps 4 people. It's furnished as nicely as our house. I was trying to I took this off the wall, and I thought it'd be good as a video album cover or video title slate, and Michael just said, why don't you just take it home? So maybe I'll just do that. We're on our way home now. It's 8:56, and the GPS says it's going to take us 6 hours to get home. Here's my postmortem of the trip, which was in all respects stellar. The walk was literally the best one I ever did. The first walk, and it so happens that the house we rented is literally right next to it, which was, I mean, a huge windfall. We would never have anticipated that the house would be so well sited. The house itself was probably the best vacation home we've ever rented. And finally, St. David's was superb.
56 miles an hour.
We're home. And we're now going to look at the garden.